Hey guys, Joey from Bulletproof for BJJ here. Today I'm going to take you through some simple movements that you can use to address knee flexion. So we're talking about bending the knees, and this has come about because one of our guys, whose name escapes me, got in touch through our community group the other day, and he was saying that he can't sit in the kneeling position that we commonly sit on the mat. So kneeling down, legs are underneath you, feet are pointed. He can't sit in that position comfortably. He's a bit tight, and he was asking what he can do. Now, I'm quite a few months past an ACL reconstruction, so I have similar issue going on through my right knee. It doesn't bend all the way. So I'm doing some stuff that's going to be really helpful for old mate, and so I want to share that with you guys today. So first thing we want to do is, I actually want to, and I'll just turn this way because this is the affected knee, right? This is the one I had the reco on. If you look at my good side, I can squash that leg all the way in, right? My calf and my hamstring are connected. But if we go to this side, I can really only get about that far before I start to feel a bit of tension and discomfort at the knee, all right? So we're gonna warm it up. And here's the first thing. I got this exercise from a guy called Justin Lang. I wanna give him a shout out. This is an amazing warm up just for the knee joint before training and before doing the exercise we're about to do. I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna place it on the inside of the knee joint here, and then I'm gonna reach around and grab my own ankle, and all I'm doing is pulling my heel to my butt, right? Now what's happening is, because I've got this hand in against the back of the knee joint, it's actually providing a little block in the joint, and what that causes in the joint is gapping. It actually creates a bit of space in the knee joint. So instead of like my knee just kind of working like this, as I bend it, it opens up slightly, right? There's this little bit of gapping. And when you have a lot of tension in there, but you have a bit of like residual inflammation, so maybe your knee's a bit aggravated from training, or maybe you're recovering from a surgery like I am, this just allows you to get a lot deeper, and it's a lot more comfortable on the knee. The main thing is with this stuff that we're doing today is we don't want to aggravate the knee. There is a bit of an old sort of saying, no pain, no gain. Yeah, it has a place. But when we're talking about like joint issues, we don't want to go and aggravate it, because we're just going to make the issue worse. So anyway, I'm working around 20 reps of this, okay? And you see I'm just moving in, get a good squeeze, hold for half a second, and relax. Once that's done, we can start to work on a couple of drills. So first one we're going to do, we're going to sit in our, this is called a Caesar position, right? We're going to sit in our Caesar. So my feet are pointed, my knees are together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ab mat. Now you'll see that there's got like a thinner side here and a thicker side here. If you don't have one of these, you can find maybe a piece of foam that's around a similar size. At the academy that I train at, I don't travel with one of these. That could be good. But at the academy I train at, they don't have anything like this, but they do have some offcuts of the mats. And I just fold the offcuts over like once, and then I jam it into the back of the knee, and I do this same drill. You could even use your belt. You'd probably fold it over 2 or 3 layers thick, and it might help you achieve the same thing. Anyways, I face this way. I'm gonna take the mat, I'm gonna open the knee, and again, feet together, knees together, and then I'm gonna place that sharp edge of the mat right into the back of the knee joint, and then I'm gonna sit back onto it. So what's happening is that mat is now gapping the knee joint for me, like my hand was just doing, but I can focus on just sitting back and allowing my weight to drop into this seated position. Now I would hang out here for anywhere from 90 seconds to a few minutes, and the idea is that over time you might reduce how much work the mat or the pad is doing. So if I get comfortable here, and for me this is a pretty good place to be, but if you're feeling fine with it, you could start to edge that thing out just a little bit, right? So it's still providing a small amount of gapping, but it's giving you less and less. So over time, you're working towards not having to use it, right? Now, obviously the goal is to just be able to sit your butt on your heels, which I can show on my unaffected side. That's really what we're trying to get to. So we're just looking at steps to get towards that, right? Now, if that's fine, you have a second variation you can try. I wouldn't necessarily say that this one's better, it's just a little bit different. Same position, I got 2 foam blocks. You could fold your gi up and potentially use that, or you could just use, again, a couple of bits of off-cut mat from the gym. And then I'm gonna place this, I'm now not gapping the knee, I'm just gonna place it back so that it elevates the height of my butt, all right? So now the knee joint is just working naturally. There's no gapping going on, but I have a bit of support here that's keeping my hips elevated, and it's allowing me just to work to that point of I guess the boundary of my comfort. Again, we don't want to aggravate anything. We just want to go to that point where we know that the knee joint's okay with it, but we're also increasing our range of motion. Again, 90 seconds, a few minutes, whatever works for you. Now, I'm going to show you one more drill, but before I do that, what I want to explain, it's really important with this stuff that you do it before you train. And the reason for that is, if I'm going to train jiu-jitsu, if I can have maximal range of motion through my joints as I enter the training session, that puts me in the best possible position for a good training session, right? Say I'm playing butterfly guard. If I've been working on my knee flexion before class, then I'm going to have good knee flexion to play jiu-jitsu, right? If I do it after class, sure, I'm still getting the benefit from it in the long run, but in the session, I don't have good knee flexion, so I can't actually use that leg very well. So you want to think about this kind of mobility stuff as a really good way, one, to create long-term adaptations in the body, but two, to allow you to train to a higher quality. So before class and after, if you're really keen, would be my suggestion, all right? Fourth drill for you guys, check it out. So you're gonna need somewhere where you can support a bit of weight here. So depending where you are, you just make it work. We got this upright that's fixed into the wall here, or fixed into the floor. So I'm gonna use this. We need something solid because we're gonna be hanging a bit of weight off it. What we're looking to do here is just take a more active approach to this same movement that we've been working on. So what we're gonna do here is called a skier squat. And I'm gonna take a narrow position with my feet. So feet are gonna be at hip width. They're gonna be pointing straight ahead. And I'm gonna be squatting in a way where my hip, my knee, and my foot are all in one line. So I'm not looking for like this kind of squat position. I'm looking for directly straight ahead. But the key thing with this variation is that I'm not driving my knees forward as I squat. When we drive the knees forward, this is a very natural part of squatting. When I drive the knees forward, I do place like a shearing force on the knee. And for anyone that's got any knee issues out there, you would know that this can often aggravate the knee. So I'm not saying that that's something you want to avoid completely, but in this context, in this circumstance, we're going to try and reduce that as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep my shin vertical, okay? And instead of the knee driving forward, the hips are going to go back. So you notice my hips go back, all right? The shin is still vertical, and I'm bringing myself down into that bottom position, and I'm focusing, particularly for me on the right side, on connecting my calf and my hamstring, and then I'm coming back out of there. I need to hang my weight off whatever thing I'm holding on to. So obviously there's an element of body weight with this, but I'm not using full body weight, which again is pretty handy. And I'm doing this as a mobility drill. So I'm focusing on closing that gap between the hamstring and the calf, okay? In terms of reps, we want to get quite a few here. So I'm going to say like 10 to 20 repetitions. 1 or 2 sets of all of these drills. If you're doing like 3 of them before class, 1 set of each drill will be plenty. Good. Like I said, hit this stuff up before you train. Complete 1 set of each. You don't have to do every single one of those initial drills I showed you. You could just pick one and then maybe throw in a set of skier squats. 2 to 3 times a week. And the main thing is no aggravation, no pain at the knee. Make sure you're moving through a range of motion that you're comfortable with. And this over time is going to help you get more comfortable with sitting down on your shins, hanging out in that Caesar position. Thanks guys.